Jason?
Yes.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, Jason Muse, or Jay of Jay and Silent Bob fame. How are you, man?
I'm good.
You know, interestingly enough, we just talked to you a couple weeks ago, and then your wife calls us and says, hey, Jason would like to talk to you again. It's 420.
Yes.
But you're sober, but you're still...
I am. But it's, Kevin, I'm calling in behalf of Kevin and all the other smokers and my past.
So I'm guessing a lot of people around you still celebrate 420 is what you're saying.
Yes, yeah, my wife does too. And believe me, if I didn't have the whole, the weed thing isn't really a problem and all that, but, with being sober, it's like, you have to cut everything out. It's like the mindset, being sober, not doing anything. So, I can't drink, even though my main drug I like is opiates and painkillers or what have you.
Yeah.
So it's like I can't smoke and drink and stuff like that because I tried that.
Oh, we lost him? Oh, wait, there he is. Is that him? Jason?
Yes.
We lost you there.
I know. I'm sorry. I don't know what happened. My phone was still going, but somehow I lost you.
Well, that's okay. I think we were. Where were we? We were talking about opiates. Those are your favorites.
Yes, I was just saying that, like, that's my thing. But with being sober, I had to get the mindset of staying away from all mind-altering drugs, like even whippets. Like I can't do whippets or anything because I just got to stay in that mind frame that I'm gonna stay sober. Like I'm not gonna do anything. So
now, what about I know Steve-O from Jackass. He's a friend of the show, and we talked to him quite a bit, and he says that he can't take pills even if the doctors, if he were to hurt his back or injure himself filming Jackass, and they say, hey, here's a painkiller, he can't take it. He won't take it. Are you kind of in the same boat?
That happened to me. I had almost 7 years sober. I had surgery. I got kidney stones, and then a week, seriously, 2 weeks later, I had to get another surgery on my foot. And anyway, they gave me painkillers, and I took them, and it just brought that feeling back. And next thing you know, I'm taking them because you can take them as prescribed. And it's not considered a relapse or anything, but can you handle it? Will it get you going again? And that's what happened to me. I felt that feeling, and next thing you know, the prescription was done, and the doctor said, okay, you don't need any more. And I went, next thing I know, I went to a different doctor, and I was like, oh, I'm still in pain.
Right.
And then 10 months later, I'm taking, 60 Vicodin a day. And yeah, so then I had to, get done with that again, and now it's over a year. So
now I'm curious. I remember I was in a car accident when I was 19 years old, and I had to have surgery, and the doctor prescribed me OxyContin, just straight up OxyContin for the reconstructive surgery. I had major plastic surgery on my face. I'd never had it before, and I've got this bottle of pills there, and I took one, and I mean, you know what it feels like, and so of course I start taking more of them. I use up my prescription. I try and tell the doctor. Now the bottle said it had one refill remaining. I told the doctor, hey, I spilled some of those pills. I spilled them down the sink, and I could really use them. So he said, okay, I'll refill it for you. I go to get the refill, and he refilled it with ibuprofen because he knew this is a guy that just got in I was in an accident from drinking and driving, so he probably assumed I had a problem to begin with. But that was the first time I took one of those, and that's a powerful drug. When did you first experience an opiate? What was it? Was it a pill?
It was. I had hurt my leg, and my mom was sick. My mom had AIDS, and she was getting prescribed OxyContin. And but first she got Percodan and Percocet, and then she got Oxy. But I remember first she gave me some Percodan, and it gave me that feeling, and it was good. But I still, was or whatever. But I took it for 3-4 days because I actually did a car crushed my leg, blah blah blah. But anyway, so I actually needed them. So I didn't really, if you actually are in a lot of pain, you sort of still feel that feeling, but not as much. And then
right.
I remember like I had like a toothache, and at that point my mom had gotten, you can only take Percocet and Percocet for so long because of Tylenol and aspirin, and she got sicker, and they gave her Oxy, and she's like, well, I don't have Percocet anymore, but you can, take one of these. And I remember, just like you said, I took that OxyContin, and I remember just being floaty, and I was like, oh my goodness, this is.
Yeah, and how old were you when this was going on?
I was about 20. I was about 20 when I took the painkillers.
Okay.
But I didn't really, my mom wouldn't give them to me enough for me to get hooked on them. It wasn't until my 21st birthday that I tried heroin. And then I did heroin, which is similar to that feeling. And, that's when it was like all of a sudden it was just Friday, Saturday nights.
Right.
And then it was Thursday, Friday, Saturday nights. And then next thing you know, I'm strung out, so.
Now, how old were you when you guys shot Clerks?
I was 17 when we started shooting.
Okay, so by this point, so you're talking about by the time you got into drugs, you were already a celebrity. People knew you.
We had done, we had done Mallrats, Chasing Amy. We did Clerks and Mallrats, and then I did another independent movie, Drawing Flies. So it wasn't until Chasing Amy that I was strung out. But I wouldn't say, Mallrats was when people all started sort of being like, hey, you're Jay, you're that guy.
Right.
So.
Which, does that make it easier? I would think that would make it easier to find stuff that you're looking for when you've got more connections.
That, though. See, that's the thing. Heroin is like taboo. It's like you don't go to a club and people are like, "Hey, man, you want to come in the bathroom and do some heroin?"
Right.
They do. You can go to a club and people actually do a bump of cocaine, or let's go smoke a joint and you can drink. And I did all of that, but it was hard. Only one time ever in my life did someone, and that was only because they were outside of Rite Aid. And they were sitting nodding out in their truck. And they're like, you're that guy. And I was like, hey, talking to him. I was like, man, what are you on, painkillers, Vicodin? He's like, no, man, I got some H. And he's like, you want some? But that was the only time since I'm 36 right now. So in 15 years, only one time did anyone ever offer me heroin.
And that was a guy who was nodding off in his truck outside of a Rite Aid.
Exactly.
About to wet his pants. So I hope we're not glorifying opiate use right now. And for people who are listening, or God forbid, young people who are listening who have never tried it, don't. It messes you up so quick. It messes you up so quick. You see people that are in their 60s who get prescribed a bottle of Oxy and they're hooked on it in a month, and they're messed up.
I've had friends that saw me and saw what's going. Matter of fact, one of my friends right now, he's known me since I was 12 years old, and he saw everything I went through and all that, and he would always be like, dude, I don't understand, like, look what you're doing to yourself, just stop. And he's not strung out, but I remember he hurt his back, just like you said, and the doctor gave him OxyContin. And he after he did it, he called me up and he's like, dude, all these years, he's like, I know why it's so hard to get, like, how.
Yeah, but the problem is it doesn't last. It feels so good the first couple times, and then you never in my life have I had to chase something so quickly. I mean, your body gets used to it in the matter of a couple of days, and you never feel as good as you did that first time ever again, really.
Well, it numbs you. It not only physically you feel good, it like numbs everything. Like, if you're supposed to go to court the next day, you're just like, yeah, man, I'll go to court. It's whatever. Like, you just have,
right.
All things are like.
It doesn't matter. I always said it makes you feel like you could run a marathon or just lay down and sleep for days. You don't care. Whatever's going on, you're up for it. Whether that's doing nothing or doing everything, you don't care.
Yes, true. It's true. But like you said, I definitely. It sounds like it's good, but it's
not.
For like 2 days, and then it's horrible.
And then it's horrible. And to watch people get strung out on it, I've got friends who still have problems with it, and the amount of money you spend on it. That's another thing, another argument for why we should legalize drugs. I mean, look at Oxy. It's legal, and I've never paid so much money for a drug in my life. You pay $80, $100 for a pill, for one pill.
Yes.
Because it's a prescription. It's hard to get.
Very expensive. That's what, when I had this relapse, and I was saying I was taking like 60, 70 Vicodin a day, and, I couldn't find Oxys, and I didn't want to do heroin, so I'm like, I don't want to go back to that and all that. But they're $4 a pill. I was spending $200-300 a day.
Right.
And yeah, it's like you wake up, and it's the first thing you think of. Oh my gosh, I feel like crap. Where am I going? How am I going to get money if I don't have money? And even if I have money, who's going to have what I need and all that? I mean, it's a miserable existence to be strung out.
Well, enough about opiates. It's 420. People should, I mean, if anything, hopefully you learned a lesson if you're listening, to stay away from opiates and just stick with pot.
Yes, stay away from opiates. Smoke the weed. Weed, I haven't seen... I've not seen anybody say, chase weed down where they're selling their car stereo or anything.
Exactly. I haven't met that guy yet.
I mean, I don't see anything wrong. I mean, with that, I really don't. I mean, I feel like if anything, if you're used to smoking it every day, you might have a little trouble sleeping or what have you because you're used to
that. Or you might get lung cancer or other things. There's risk involved. It ain't the same as opiates. It's just not.
No.
It's a whole different world. Jay and Silent Bob Get Old, you're going to be at the Midland by AMC May 2nd, 2011. And I was told there's a possibility that you and Kevin might be stopping by the studio the day of the show.
Yeah, I hope so.
I definitely hope so. We would look forward to that. And we've got they just gave us 5 more pairs of tickets to give away, so we'll give those away right now.
Amazing.
All right, Jason, thank you so much for calling in, and hopefully we'll – listen, when your wife called, I took her phone number because I said, here's the deal. We already talked to him a couple weeks ago, but if he wants to come back on the air, then we need to have a relationship because we've got a few celebrities that we have their phone numbers and we call at any time. We have David Arquette's number, Louis C.K.'s number, and all the guys from Jackass. And we said, we want to add Jason to that list. And she said, fine, take my number. He never answers his phone anyways. Just call me. So we may be calling your wife maybe, once a quarter, twice a year, something like that when we're bored and see what you're up to.
Do it. That would be fun. I'd love to be driving down the street or in Best Buy and I get a phone call from you guys for sure.
All right. We look forward to it. Thanks, Jason Mewes, Midland by AMC, Jay and Silent Bob Get Old, May 2nd. Thanks, man.
Thank you. Have a good one.
You too. See ya.
The Church of Laszlo.